Well, staying with the story, we are now joined by teams by the National Union of Mine Workers, Health and Safety Secretary Masibulele Naki. So thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Let's first get your reaction as the NUM about this latest incident. Of course, as I was saying to our reporter, Sintlaying, we know that 11 people have died, 10 others are in critical condition.
Thank you very much, and greetings to the viewers at home. Indeed, this is a very unfortunate and a sad moment for the nation and for the world. We send our condolences to the families and to the colleagues in the mine. We also send our wishes for a speedy recovery to those who are hospitalized. It is indeed a disaster after we've tried so many things to avoid things like this to happen in the mining industry, since we have seen this happening in 30 years back, whilst it was happening in Vares number 2 shaft in 10 May 1995. And it just happened now in Impala in our lifetime. So we really feel so sad with the loss of 11 co-workers and fellow employees in Impala mine, of which this is should be some lessons out of what happened. Was each and every disaster that happened in the mining industry, we have to get some LFI going forward, so to avoid the same event and the same incident to happen again. We will also encourage the mine in doing the investigation to properly go to the root cause of the incident. We received that the incident happened in yesterday around 6 o'clock. Started investigation. Actually, this happened around 4 o'clock, but the investigation itself and the rescue itself happened at 6 o'clock. It always takes longer to rescue workers in events like this. Yes, that we don't put a blame to anyone, but we appreciate the fact that there are those who came out alive. But we will encourage to the mine that all the unions be involved, because there is this thing where they prioritize one union, recognize in instances of safety and the loss of life. Would like a situation where all unions taking part, because we all have members there. So this is a situation where we would like to take part, all of us as union, not considering the fact of which is majority, who is not a majority, but this is where we must hold hands and making sure that things like this, we put this into rest and we comfort families together, and we put this thing to rest, and we see the way forward together, working together with the DMRE.
Masibulele, let's talk about some of the issues that you are raising. Of course, safety being the #1 priority. Of course, we heard from Minister Gwede Mantashe there also saying that lives before productivity. You know, the country essentially is on a downward spiral as it talks to fatalities. We saw that, of course, last year, 49 fatalities in the mining industry, down from 74 the year before. But of course, one death is one too many. What would you say in terms of this particular mine went wrong? I mean, have workers been speaking out about any incidents at all? How would you rate this particular mine? Because we know that in the platinum industry or platinum sector, so far this year, before this death, by September, already 4 deaths were reported.
Yes, actually, we will be saying that in platinum, for this year specific, we were saying they are doing much better compared to previous years in terms of numbers, but they were not doing good, of course, because we had fatalities in Impala mine. But in terms of the overall safety in the mine, there were complaints or indications that the mine itself, there are indications of non-compliance in safety, of which those were attended to and were reported to the mine managers who are responsible for safety, and also safety committees by the workers. But in this case, workers, of course, they say a lot of things when things of disaster happened. They indicate that there were indications that there is an unsafe conditions in the shaft, of which we won't rely now on those things. We will rely on the thorough investigation that will be done by a mine. But of course, workers are saying that they indicated these things to, and they reported them. This is this is why there is an investigation. We'll be even investigating whether there were reports that were not taken into consideration that were reported by workers. I think the minister indicated one thing, that we won a Berkeley after 1995, that in 1996, when we have a Mine Health and Safety Act, one of the fundamental rights in the Mine Health and Safety Act is to refuse a dangerous working place. So we'll also check whether there are areas where there were reports that were submitted of which they were not taken into consideration by the mine bosses. Also, when we talk of a shaft, it becomes different when we talk of a panel where production is taking place in the mining industry. Here at the shaft is only hosting that is happening, taking employees down and hosting employees up, you using conveyance and the cash, of which now, in this instance, the failure is on the roof, and the cash then went down the conveyance, then down to the bottom. Then the issue becomes, there is a procedure that follows on examining the shaft, of which the understanding is that of a 6 months period where they examine both sides, and then they cut and do all those things that they should be done, and there's the monthly examinations. These are the processes that will be followed in the investigation of the DMRE, whether the procedure to examine the shaft and examine the catch, even the winder engine, were followed procedurally or not.
That will probably form part of the investigations. But Masibulele, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Really do appreciate it. That, of course, is the NUM's Health and Safety Secretary, Masibulele Naki, speaking to us.